Hey everybody, Eric here from the MMG, and I'm very excited to have you on the channel with me today because we're going to cover an indie spotlight title that I have been really excited to ever since I saw it was released. This is called Rise of Piracy. This is actually published from MicroProse, which is an old school publisher that in the 80s and 90s they kind of ruled the lands. It was actually created by Sid Meier himself, and they published Sid Meier Pirates, Civilization, XCOM, some of the biggest titles at the time. They kind of went away for a while, but they actually got brought back in 2020, and they've been covering a lot of indie titles since then. We've covered some more on our channel, so you can look this up if you want to watch the other games that we've covered for them. But this game, Rise of Piracy, is made by a single developer, and it looks a lot like Sid Meier's Pirates. You start from the ground up and work your way up. There's, I think there was 8 or 9 different factions in the game. You can trade, you can fight, you can completely level settlements. It's got full destruction, which is interesting. We'll see how that works, and lots more. So I'm really excited to dive into it and check it out. So sit tight and let's get started. All right, so diving into this game directly, I want to make a couple things known. There is tutorials, there's scenarios, custom battles, create a flag, lots of options. Multiplayer's not there yet, but it looks like they're working on it, right? But when you click on new game, you also have a couple choices for a new campaign. A new beginning. You have a Caribbean one, which is locked. Obviously, it's not in the game yet. And then these are the tutorials, okay? And it looks like there's custom difficulty you can adjust here. You can just hit begin if you want to start playing. Do you want to play the tutorials? Yeah, you know what? Let's do that. So I'm going to play these, but I just wanted to show you guys that before we get started. All right, so the very first tutorial, you create your character. And I'm just really impressed with this. I'm going to show you guys what's in here so far. So you start out here with this looking guy. You go him, go her, him, or her. I mean, honestly, they all look kind of cool. I mean, this guy's probably my favorite. It's because, you know, he's got the biggest beard. This guy's beard's okay, but we're going to go with this guy. You could choose a flag, or you can create a flag. Look at this. I thought this was really impressive. I mean, it's just paint, right? But you can make your own flag, which I thought was neat. There we go. We're going to save that as our flag, the MMG emblem. Looks like there's several custom ones you can pick from here too, but, you know, we're going to use ours. Formatting's not right, but I'm not going to take the time to fix it right now. All right, and we're going to look at the character traits. So you can start out with the trader. Use a little bonus to all that. A brawler. An explorer. A pirate. Or an admiral. So I like these beginning ones. I mean, I think I gotta play a pirate. So we're gonna be a pirate. Pirate, very difficult start with plenty of enemies hunting you. And over here we have the name. So you start out with Edward. You can name your ship too. We will be our normal Eric Madden. And the ship will be MMG works, right? There we go. All right, now I'm gonna say 2 things here. If you know me, I am not huge into character customization. I know people absolutely love that. This right here was the perfect character creator for me. I mean, honestly, couldn't ask for better. All right, so I played through all the tutorials, and now we're starting out on our quest here, and I ended up going with the pirate faction. Let's get to it. All right, when you level up, you get 100 bonus XP, some renown, and some gold. 0 new ships available for purchase. Next level is in 1200 XP. So pretty early on, I realized that nobody likes a pirate. I even had other pirates hunting me down. But I was trying to get some missions done. So I was going to ports and picking up some more missions off the bulletin board and then trying to run from port to port. Also trying to trade some goods in the middle of all that to make some money so I could build myself a better ship. Unfortunately, you can't just flee from enemies all the time. Sometimes you take damage when you're trying to flee. Other times you don't flee at all. And it's very hard to get started out and to build up a ship in my experience. I quickly learned on why a pirate was positioned as being a hard to play, because everybody's trying to attack you, even other pirates, which seems crazy to me. And all their fleets are massive, so you're doing a lot of fleeing. Sometimes, you know, damage is sustained in that when you're trying to flee. The other problem I have is combat. So I have always wanted combat like this that was more complex. Had a lot going on until I got it. Interface is hard to manage. There's too much going on. I feel like I'm always missing something. So if you hit T, you can board the ship. And then RTS view is back out like that with T. So just remember that, but that's took me a second to do. And then you can actually drive the ship. There's several layers to the cells. So you can see if I raise my cells on this tiny ship, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 different levels of selling you can do for speed. Your will doesn't automatically reset to 0. It stays where you had it. You can hold A and D together to reset it to 0 slowly like that. So there's just some choices that most games don't make that you kind of take for granted, or maybe you think, oh, that's cool that this is the other way, when really it's not very practical. Now, for some people who really want some complex combat and all that stuff, this game is going to be for you. The problem I have is it's too complex and it's too slow. It's just not fun. So what I've decided to do is we're going to restart as a merchant, because I found it is super expensive. All right, so we're going to make our merchant. I selected the other character. We're going to be called Trader Joe here, and the ship's going to be called the Warehouse. My merchant playthrough is starting out really strong. While I'm still getting attacked, it's not nearly as much. That one mission got us enough to level us up again, so now we're starting to rake in the money. Let's look at this bulletin board. Some lower missions on this one, right? Nothing super high. Deliver some letters, deliver a prisoner. Don't think any of these are the same distance away, though. This one is definitely the better mission. Let's take it. At least reward-wise, the better mission. Let's check out the market here. Ooh, no, not buying luxurious soap like I would hope. Pickled goods here. Let's see. Yeah, it's a little bit below. Let's buy a couple of those. We'll have some variety of goods in our hold, maybe. There we go. Now, we are a little low, 484. You do have to pay your crew. Whoops. That's that message I was sending you back. We have to go to the dry dock and pick up our goods. All right, let's head on. Let's hope this next port will buy some of our goods so we can get some money back and keep the trade going. All right, one thing that I think is really cool about this game is all the upgrades that are available for your ships. And you can see you unlock them as you level up more. I made it up to level 6 so far, just doing really missions back and forth and trading. And yeah, I really like this aspect of it. You can level it up more than once to get it to a higher rate or a higher level. I also want to mention that I like that every port or island has someone who is considered the mayor or the leader, and you have several options within that you can do: bribe them, threaten them, give a gift, ask about rumors, or ask to see log. And if they're with a major faction in the game, you can try to run special missions for them to raise up your faction rank as well. All right, so I'm several hours into my playthrough as a merchant. This is definitely more my style for this type of game, which is something is surprising to me, right? I wanted to be a pirate. I want to do the ship combat. I want to do the melee combat. But this game, that's not the strongest points for this game for me. If you're really into RTS style of command and give missions and tell them to fire at will, or give orders like move orders, tell them to fire at will, then this is going to be your type of combat system. For me, I really found myself wanting an auto battler, right? Where I didn't have to do anything, really. I'm more powerful. I have more ships. I am, slated to win. I'm going to auto battle this out, take the chance that everything goes my way. That's how I would like to see this combat rounded out if it's going to keep this style. Otherwise, as the merchant side goes, I've been doing a lot of missions to level up XP, to make gold. The market setup isn't ideal for me. Maybe I need to get a better relationship with some of the factions to start to really see more profit from that. But what I found on at least early game, the first couple hours, you can make a little bit of profit trading, but it's not really as lucrative as running missions. So, and if you get an item that doesn't seem to want to sell, the price never seems to fluctuate too much from port to port, at least in my experience. And like I said, limited at about 2 hours in as a trader, and that could change. I did get several levels. I'm level 14. I've been doing a lot of missions, been doing some trading here and there. I do have multiple ships in my dry dock here. As you can see, we have several. Let's see what I got. 4 now. Yeah, here's my 4 ships. Making money off doing the missions, doing some trading. Missions has been where mostly of the money is. So I do like what I've seen with this game so far. I do wish it would have a little bit more time to bake. Now, I understand what they're doing. This is a single developer, a small indie team. And so I really have a lot of hope for this game because I like what I see so far. I do want there to be some more variety with as far as trading goes. They need to enhance that aspect of it. I like the factions. There's I think 9 different factions in the game. I like all the ports. I like all that part. I like the RTS combat for taking over a town. That's pretty cool. Though I do wish there was, like sword fighting in it. But you know what? This is a $15 game, full price, right? A small indie team, one guy main developing it. And so you have to tamper your expectations. This is early access, and I'll be honest, if you're into pirate games and you're going to probably get your money out of it just from checking this game out. Just don't think that you're going to get a full, Sid Meier's Pirates. I mean, this is Sid Meier's Pirates is 30 years old, right, at this time, maybe 40 years. I don't even know. It's 40 years at this point, and this game is not quite up to par with that. It does some things better, right? Like you have officers, you have more classes, you have a lot more ports, you have the RTS style of combat. You can change your different bullet types or ammo in your cannons. You can add gunpowder, remove gunpowder. There's a lot of complexity there that's not found in more simpler games. But with that said, it's a game. You're meant to have fun, and I just didn't find the ship combat in this game to be fun at all. And so that's where like Sid Meier's Pirates would be a little level up for me in that aspect of it. Now, with that said, there's been a lot of pirate games out, and we've recently covered a ton of Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Great game, but you're also talking single dev team, small indie publisher, and compared to a giant like Ubisoft, right? So you have to tamper your expectations, know what you're expecting. And I'm going to give this the thumbs up. I'm going to recommend it just because I really like what I've seen. And I know this game's only been out 4 months, but if you follow it, you'll see there's been a ton of updates. He's really been updating this game, trying to get it into place and listening to feedback. And anybody who does that is going to get their game on the right track as long as they have the support of the players. So let's support this game. Age of Piracy. It's available on Steam now. Thanks for hanging out. Have yourself a great day.